Guys, part 3 of 3 for my driving trilogy here. For part 1 and part 2, please subscribe to my channel or check out my channel, Johnston PGA, which is free on YouTube. We are going to talk here just now about how weight shifts in the driver and trying to get a little bit more torque, a little bit more wind up as opposed to such lateral movement. Let's do it. Okay, so let's get a little bit more turn, a little bit more coil in the driver. Just check this microphone's working. Yes, we're all on. So guys, let's get a little bit more coil, a little bit more turn, a little bit more wind up with the driver. When we take the driver back, our weight goes to the right, and then our weight comes through to the left. We all know that because weight transfers. You can stay more centred and try and get more turn, which is what we're going to try and do. But the key thought here is when we're playing driver, take a rest position. Okay, my right hip does not move that way. If my right hip moves to the right, then I've got lateral movement, so I'm moving along the line instead of around the centre. Okay, so this is very important. So if we can wind it up correctly, then we can uncoil it back towards the golf ball, so we can store some power and generate that back to the golf ball, applying a little bit more force to the ball from the club. So I take my address position, which is here, good. When I come back, I feel as though I take the club back and my chest comes over the top of my right hip. So I've created some sort of torque, I've wound this up, rather than my hip going that way, which would be no torque and more slide lateral movement. So I think about my chest going over the top of my right hip. So take my address position, up to the top, then we go there. This right hip hasn't moved out at all. Okay, and my chest is more in line with this right hip. Then from this position, I can turn, my bottom half comes back through, the hips come back through, then everything follows back into that impact position which we talked about in part 2. Let's try this. Okay, so I want to be, here's the difference. I don't want to do this. You can see I've moved outside my right foot, my chest still points forward, I've not got much turn. Instead I want to get into this position where that's not moved and my chest is more rounded and on top, or turned more round on top of my right hip. That's the position I want to get into. There, that's it. Great, let's do it. Woo! That's miles. That was all from torque. I overdid that actually. I found it hard to keep my balance because I was really concentrating on getting that wind up, that torque, that twist, and then releasing that through the shot. Give that a try. Thanks for subscribing. Johnston PGA on YouTube. If you've enjoyed the video, please click like and share below, and you can catch part 2 and part 1 of this driving trilogy on my channel.